I would like to introduce to you our next great mind, Joe Scalia. I'm not rushing you. Thank you, sir.
I'm very lucky to be here today because I'm a butt man. The kind of person that ends his sentences with but. So when Debbie invited me, I said, sure, I'd like to, but here I am. And it's only fitting to start with a poem that I wrote for the particular condition of mine, and it's called But. Sure, I'd like to hold you. In fact, I dream about it every single day. I'd love to kiss you, too, and hug you, but your butt gets in the way. I used to have a cat. I have fish now. Fish are not the same. You can't take them out for a walk. You can't take a cat out either. But I noticed that my fish hold me in very high regard. So I wrote a poem. To the fish in my aquarium, I am God. In darkness, in the middle of the night, I flood their 20-gallon world with brightness and let there be light. When they are hungry, they mouth silent prayers against the algae-covered glass, waiting to be fed, and beg for sustenance. Give us this day our daily bread. Through pestilence and fungus, ick and itch, they hold up little fishy heads in hope of their deliverance. From my pillow thrown upon the bed, I see them watching me. I hear them bitch. pH is much too high, the water's cold. That's when I raise the heat and stir the sandy bottom with a stick to send up clouds of fish stuff, memories of other days to torment them. Sometimes, on a whim, my fishnet cuts across the water with the power of Jehovah, striking fear in every fishy heart as they recall relatives here, then not, disappeared in a single swipe, guppies gone, and mollies long time flushed to the great beyond, almost forgotten. When I want to get their attention, I hold the cat up for all of them to see through the algae-covered glass. It keeps them on their toes. As you might expect, I have trouble with relationships. And that's the title of this next poem. I have trouble with relationships. Let me start again. I have trouble with relationships since I was a kid, an only child. And Brendan, my imaginary friend who lived in my room and slept in my bed, deserted me for someone more interesting down the street, he said. It scarred me for life and caused acute separation anxiety, which isn't much fun and not very cute. The burden of Brendan I have carried in a bundle on my back through puberty into high school, adulthood, and beyond. It has led me to bad choices like roommates and life mates, regretted immediately. Unfortunately for me, I also have trouble with goodbyes, choosing instead to stay, even in the face of monumental calamity, evident to everyone but me. Riding my bad relationships like the Titanic into a watery grave, clinging to the handrail, singing the praises of buoyancy and disaster. In my twilight, as concession and admission of my inability to let go, I find it easier instead wishing the people I know and don't much care for dead, and maybe too a few of the ones I do. title of this poem is the first line. I put my underwear on backwards today, and needless to say, I had a delightful yet appalling surprise when amid my busy day, in the middle of it all, I tried to answer nature's calling. At first, I must admit, with the flap of my BVDs in unfamiliar places, the soft white cotton fabric where space ought to be, I didn't know if I was going or coming. In the cold, stopping by a yellow wood, feeling a bit Robert Frost. Long I stood there, long I stood, and with all the superhuman strength I could muster, stemmed the urge to go with the flow. Yes, I took the road less traveled by, and so far that has made all of the difference. You thought they were going to be serious poems? Not a chance, not a single one. Father's Day is never really a big holiday. Mother's Day, you take mom out for dinner. Father's Day, Dad makes a barbecue. So I said that to my kids, and I was surprised. Father's Day, 2007. So I'm sitting at my computer, just me and the cat curled up on the floor by my feet, surfing the free sites, if you know what I mean, when there is a knock at the front door. Who is it? I call. Pizza delivery. It's not for me. I dismiss with a wafting of my hand the deliverer, a kid about 17 holding a box in his, and I say again, I didn't order any pizza. Through the screen door, he looks chagrined, asks the address, which is correct, but I reiterate for him, I didn't order it. He retreats to the street and his waiting car, and before I can settle in, the telephone rings, and it's him, the pizza boy. Yeah, he says, you did order the pizza. He recites my address. Can't I just drop it off? I intercept him at the door, and the next thing I know, we are scuffling on the floor, he and I. He has the advantage of youth, but I have him outweighed. And besides, he is hampered by the cardboard box he doesn't want to drop. We tumble down the brick steps entwined, both covered in pizza sauce or blood, with the neighbors looking on. It's paid for, I hear him say, from your son in Florida for Father's Day. Just sign for it and I'll be on my way. I pause mid-punch to catch my breath. I take the box and thank him, add another $1 to the $5 already on the slip for his troubles. After all, it seems I haven't been forgotten. And as soon as I get back from the emergency room for stitches, I'll give my son a call, and then I plan to eat all of my Father's Day present. Am I out of time? All right, I have this one. My neighbor has a dog that keeps me up all times. And so I developed a strategy to deal with the dog and the neighbor. My neighbor has a dog that barks all day and night, a single-noted, one-pitch, mindless woof, 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 woof. That is driving me to drink. I think he works from dawn to dark digging holes for the county, the neighbor, I mean. The dog doesn't do anything but bark, and occasionally burrow under the fence and poke his head into my space. Both man and beast are pretty big, so I am reluctant to confront them. Instead, I have formulated plans to let him know the neighborhood's growing discontent, leaving anonymous notes stuffed in his mailbox, printed in barely legible scrawl to prevent detection, letters pinned under the windshield wiper blades of his Ford F-150 pickup. Messages fingered with rubber-gloved hand in the dusty panes of glass to leave no prints. For weeks, I crouched just beyond the wall in rain and shine, holding a microphone, making cassette tape recordings of those summer dog day afternoon disturbances of the peace, and mailed them in a plain brown envelope without a return address. When he came to my front door asking to borrow a tape recorder, hoping to sniff out a rat, no doubt, I feared discovery. But thinking cleverly on my feet, safe behind the locked screen, I told him I only listened to CDs. Yesterday, I put on a disguise and traveled to another town where I bought 3 pounds of ground sirloin, enough non-prescription sleeping pills for everyone to rest in peace for a couple of days at least. Under cover of darkness, I plan to launch it into the yard, a Mickey Finn, a la Mickey D. And if my neighbor ever questions me again, I'll just tell him like Socrates, Mahatma Gandhi and Hitler, I'm a vegetarian. Thank you. Woo!